It's 2021. We're trying new things, trying new books, new foods, new movies, not so much traveling, but we're trying new films. And specifically today we're trying a new film stock, Ektar 100, which sounds like a new name for a new dinosaur species, but instead is one of Kodak Eastman's original film stocks. It is a 100 ISO speed color negative film, which I've heard great things about, and so I bought it for the first time to test it out and show you guys the results today. So first things first, why do people buy Ektar? Well, it says on the package, it says world's finest grain. So if you want as close to a crispy digital shot as possible, then apparently you go with Ektar, which I didn't know much about. The good thing is that Ektar is processed with C41 chemicals, so you can go to your local film lab or send it into an online film boutique to get it developed really quickly. I went and got this developed at my local film developer in Ebisu, Tokyo, and I got some pretty cool results. Traditionally, Ektar is used only basically in landscape photography, and that's because it has such a fine grain and it's very vibrant in nature. I used it today in sort of like a street photography shoot. I just went out, took some landscape, took some portraits, and kind of just tested it in various lighting situations. It's a professional grade film, so it's a little bit more expensive than perhaps just a Color Plus, Kodak 200, but it is an ISO 100 film, so there are certain situations that this will definitely prevail and be a great color negative film. On Amazon right now it goes for just over 10 bucks, so I'll go ahead and link that below. Go ahead and check it out, and if you want to try it, cop one for yourself and see how it does for you. Besides that, the only thing I want to touch on is that because it is an ISO 100 film, the shadows are pretty dark and they drop off pretty quickly. So make sure that you know that in dark situations, definitely use a flash, and just kind of know that it won't capture shadows quite as much. It won't have as high of a distribution of exposure across the highlights and shadows, and won't keep information as well as perhaps a higher ISO film. So just keep that in mind. So yeah, let's check out the rollout shot. This is mostly shot near Tokyo Station on a Contax T3 with all automatic settings. And so this is how they came out.
Is it that sensitive?
Nah, I'm just worried about it. Good to go. Ektar being a 100 ISO speed film, you can obviously tell it does very well in harsh lighting conditions, and it keeps information in very bright areas very well. And so I used this during midday around 12, 1, 2, 3 p.m. It was blue skies, no clouds, and really, really harsh lighting situations. One of the things I noticed right after getting this rollback was that the reds and blues were very vibrant, more vibrant than I had ever seen before. And sometimes that works. Sometimes that's exactly what you want. Oftentimes you can use a flash to fill up your subject, even in bright, harsh lighting conditions, so that you can get extra detail in your subject. I also took a few shots outdoors around dusk, sort of around the 5-6 p.m. mark. When you have the contacts on sort of automatic mode, it'll go ahead and automatically compensate for the low lighting conditions with slower shutter speeds. Some of these photos are a little bit blurry, but you can actually use this at your advantage. For instance, you can do panning shots and stuff like that at night. Another takeaway from this film is that obviously the reds and blues were very vibrant, but even the greens and the oranges are also super vibrant, which is a little bit different from what I usually shoot on, which is either Lomography 800 or Fuji Xperia Extra 400. So it was a nice change. So some overall takeaways from this film. I was actually pleasantly surprised with how it performed. I wasn't expecting too much, even though it's a professional grade film and it's 100 ISO. I don't typically shoot Kodak film stocks, but I thought these came out pretty interesting. They're very saturated, and so I can tell why this is often used as a landscape only or landscape particular color negative film. However, I could see this being used very well in portrait photography. I shot a few portraits. They're very oversaturated, but recently that's sort of a trend, and it looks not bad at all. And so if you're into that sort of oversaturation, you can always go in post and add saturation to your photos and get sort of a same effect using other film stocks. But if you like that right off the bat, then I highly recommend using Ektar and trying it out. Going off the world's finest grain claim, I agree. I didn't really see much grain, and sometimes when you shoot film, that's what you want, and other times you don't, especially for instance, professional shoots or instances where it's low light conditions, you don't want too much grain, or where you overexpose your film on purpose, push it a few stops, or pull it a few stops. There's definitely a time and place for less grain, and I agree with this. It is definitely a very low grain film. You can't really tell the difference if you're posting just on Instagram, for instance, but when you blow these up, if you want to print them or sell your prints, then I would recommend getting this, especially for landscape photos, but even for portraits. Anyways, this is my test run of the Ektar 100 film stock. I was pleasantly surprised with the film, and I would probably buy it again, especially if I'm going to shoot landscape photos. If you want to go ahead and purchase this specific film, I've linked it below, so it's just easy to click it out from Amazon. I think Amazon has the cheapest prices on these. And yeah, if you're looking for more content like this, especially photography, videos in Japan, and tips for social media, please go ahead and subscribe to my channel, click like on this video, and turn on post notifications. Also check out my Instagram, it's @gakuyen. I'll link it below as well. As always, appreciate you checking out my channel and taking the time to watch the video. I'm going to be posting very regularly, so make sure you subscribe and stay tuned. I'll see you guys in the next one.